Ah, yes, the final season of Game of Thrones premieres tonight on HBO. And what can we expect to see this season? Back with me, Jason Johnson, Lord of the Cynics, first of his name, and our very own
Stark
mother.
Colors? I got House Stark colors here.
I got
Green,
your Stark
gray,
colors
yes.
on. All right, the King of the North, and our very own Mother of Dragons, Khaleesi, Tiffany Cross, both huge Game of Thrones fans. Yes. Well, listen, yes, Dracarys. That's when you need to duck, Jason. Let's talk Game of Thrones. I got to play this clip because it's kind of perfectly timed. This is Hillary Clinton talking about how Game of Thrones describes politics. Take a listen.
Which is closer to reality of life and politics? Which TV show? The West Wing or Veep?
Oh, probably Game of Thrones.
Very true. And she wrote in her book what happened, for those of you who read the memoir, that her treatment, in her view, at the hands of Trump supporters was very much like the treatment of Cersei Lannister. She says, crowds of Trump at Trump rallies called for my imprisonment more times than I can count, she writes. They shouted, guilty, guilty, like the religious zealots in Game of Thrones, chanting shame, shame, while Cersei Lannister walked back to the Red Keep. What do you make of that analogy, Tiffany?
I mean, look, there are so many parallels in Game of Thrones and politics. And look, I think Hillary Clinton is right, except I would never compare her to Cersei Lannister. I think the Trumps have a lot more in common with the Lannisters than the Clintons do. But when you think about some of the dialogue that we've seen in Game of Thrones, and you remember when Littlefinger was talking to Lord Varys, I'll explain who all these people are to you later, Jason. But when they were talking,
I knew that was going to happen.
When they were speaking in the throne room, and they were complaining back and forth, and the spider told Lord Varys, well, you'd like to see this this nation descend into a pit of chaos. And Littlefinger said, chaos is not a pit. Chaos is a ladder. And that is so true when you look globally what's happening. When you look at the soldiers, like who the soldiers are in all of these armies, from the Unsullied to the Night's Watch. Again, Jason, I'll explain later. But all of these guys, I mean, there are so many parallels to who, like, these are just the worker bees who are advancing the cause of these great houses. So the parallels are innumerable and scary. Yes, Jason, go read your binge watching.
I'm going to be going to my cheating notes. Here's the thing. Hillary Clinton could never be Cersei, because Cersei understood the power and the importance of the North. And Hillary Clinton didn't spend enough time going up north, which probably would have allowed her to win. Yeah, I'm going to have a burning mentions, but that is one of the things she can be legitimately criticized for.
The king in the North must stay in the North. Remember, that's part of season 7. Yeah. See, but who, you know, and Jason, let me put you on your political prognosticator / Game of Thrones hat, because Lord Varys is an incredible tactician. Tyrion Lannister, look, all those elf folks, if you're not watching, is an incredible tactician. Littlefinger, you know, love him or hate him, he's a great tactician. Do the Democrats need one of those? Like, do they need to go find themselves a Varys or a Tyrion Lannister, somebody who can strategize for them on the level of dealing with if the Trumps are the Lannisters?
Joy, the Democrats already have a Tyrion. It's Barack Obama. I mean, he's the only guy who actually seems to understand what leadership and campaigning is. He's the only person who seems to understand. And remember, Obama's not trying to run the country anymore. Obviously, he can't. He's gone. But he can be there to give advice to everybody. And he has provided that sort of advice in the background to several of these candidates already. Look, we've already sort of broken down who we think the different candidates are. I think that, you know, Joe Biden is Khal Drogo. I think Jon Snow is Beto O'Rourke. But at the end of the day, you need someone who is smart and sophisticated and understands leadership. They've got Obama. Now, whether or not he wants to come to the fore the way he needs to, I don't know if that's going to happen anytime soon, but he's going to be the key to any Democratic victory in 2020.
Well, Beto O'Rourke is Jon Snow? Like,
he is Jon Snow.
Okay, we got to think through that one. All right, feel free to attach any characters to real candidates, Tiffany.
Well, so I definitely, I kind of see Jason's point as a binge watcher who watched all episodes probably yesterday and is trying to catch up. But I don't know that Obama is a Tyrion Lannister. I think the whole beauty of the show is there are so many parallels to unnamed people that you don't ever hear from. Certainly there's a Tyrion Lannister. I don't know that that's Barack Obama. But when you look at the power of, like, Marjorie Tyrell and how she used her power and prowess to influence for the greater good, I think there are unnamed people in the Democratic Party who do that. You know, Khal Drogo was a bit of a warrior. Certainly Democrats could use that. I will say this about the Daenerys Stormborn Targaryen. I think there's a lot of debate whether if she's a liberator or a colonizer.
Right.
You know, because you have this woman who's not of color.
She's leading all these brown people.
I would have
That's
called her
right.
a colonizer. womanizer.
Yeah.
I don't know
White
that she's
savior.
a liberator. So I think that there's a lot of room for discussion there as well.
There definitely is, and I think it's
parallels.
one of the reasons that I can't get fully on board with all of this sort of obsession with her, because
and calling her mother. And
there's
Just because she
something
got cornrows don't mean she's
we gotta
really
go.
one of
All
us.
right, guys. Thank you. Enjoy the show tonight. Jason Johnson, Tiffany Cross, Fight About It Offline, and more AM after the